Late 2026 is absolutely stacked for JRPG fans, and I'm here to make sure your backlog is properly prepared. Whether you're looking to sink hundreds of hours into deep tactical grid battles, ride giant feline mounts across open worlds, or finally see some mobile favorites get the respect they deserve on console, I've got you covered. Let's jump right in.
Scout it! Look at how fired up they are for this match. Here are the starting players for both teams.
Let's talk about the craziest sports game ever made, Captain Tsubasa 2. Look, I know some of you are thinking, sports in my RPG video? But let's be real, this is basically an action RPG disguised as a soccer game. It's dropping literally next week on August 28th, covering the World Youth arc. You've got over 110 playable characters and special moves that completely defy the laws of physics. They even revamped the tactical blocks so you can counter those ridiculous super shots. If you want high-octane anime action with zero respect for gravity, check this out.
With open arm, and dribble. They're passing. Pepe, he's got the ball. He's bringing it up.
地球生まれの人間ですの。
Next up is OUTERPLANE. If you play gacha games, you probably recognize this turn-based burst action strategy RPG from mobile. But it's finally getting a proper PC release this August. It's got that classic isekai flavor, ordinary guy gets summoned to a fantasy world, you know the drill. What sets it apart is the flashy, combo-heavy combat system. It's incredibly satisfying to juggle enemies and coordinate those massive burst attacks. I'm honestly just glad I can finally play it on a big screen without my phone turning into a portable heater.
また怪我したください、マスター。こちらに急接近。
For all my old-school tactical RPG veterans, this one is for you. The Legend of Fantasy Realm Remake arrives on September 9th, reviving an absolute classic from over 2 decades ago. We're going back to the continent of Valuotian, dealing with the messy politics after the Demon War. I love that they kept the hardcore manual stat allocation and deep class transition systems while giving the graphics a beautiful modern overhaul. The story has branching paths based on who you trust, so your choices actually matter.
快来人呐！ Ha! The most wicked devil of all has been transformed into a helpless baby!
Okay, if you want something completely unhinged, you have to look at Demon's Night Fever. Arc System Works is dropping this later this year, and it is a dark comedy strategy RPG where you play as the devil, who has been turned into a literal baby named Giga Super Death. You actually have to sacrifice your own allies to win. The more misdeeds you commit, the stronger your army gets. It's cruel, it's hilarious, and it completely flips the power of friendship trope on its head.
Use items to earn misdeeds even more efficiently! Gain peons through the abduction system!
Or an unknown future.
Another Eden Begins is finally making the jump to Switch and PC on September 17. This is a reworked version of the beloved time-traveling mobile RPG created by some of the legendary minds behind Chrono Trigger. You play as Aldo, hopping between the past, present, and future to save his sister. It plays like a classic side-scrolling JRPG with turn-based battles and gorgeous 2D art. Moving away from a purely mobile ecosystem means you can just enjoy the massive 114-chapter story at your own pace.
Now begins an RPG beyond time and space.
Before we continue the video, I want to inform you that right now, there are tons of crazy deals in instant gaming, especially if you love RPG games. Remember how expensive modern gaming lately? Well, not anymore, since you can get so many amazing titles with crazy discounts in instant gaming. Can you believe that just with $10 or even less than $5, you can enjoy one of the best gaming experiences in your life? Just look at these titles. It used to cost like $30 or even more than $40. And to make things even crazier, some games even drop so far to just $1. If you're a smart guy, you know what you have to do. All you have to do is just click my link in the description below, start searching for your favorite games, and use the activation code on your chosen platform. By using my link, you're not only saving tons of money, but also helping me to support this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list. Wait, before you ask, this isn't a Shin Megami Tensei game. This is Nocturne, a rhythm RPG launching on September 24th. The premise is dark, but the combat is where it gets crazy. It's entirely skill-based rhythm action. I played the Steam Next Fest demo, and trying to keep the beat while managing your RPG stats is like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time, but in the best way possible. It's a super unique take on turn-based combat, and the soundtrack is an absolute banger. Arc System Works is having a busy year because on September 24th, they're also dropping Qliphah in Providence's Shadow. This is a tactical counter-timeline RPG set in a distorted version of Shibuya where supernatural anomalies are bleeding into reality. You control dual protagonists who are literally infected by these anomalies. The urban fantasy vibes are immaculate, giving me heavy "the world ends with you" energy. Pre-orders just went live, and honestly, the eerie aesthetic of this game has me fully hooked.
What's up with that light?
Bandai Namco is finally giving some love to the classics with Tales of Eternia Remastered arriving October 16th. Originally released back in 2001, this game defined a whole generation of action RPGs with its aggressive linear motion battle system. I'm so happy they are bringing this back for modern consoles with enhanced visuals and some much-needed quality-of-life updates. The dynamic 2D combat still holds up brilliantly today, and traveling across two intertwined worlds feels just as epic as it did 20 years ago.
Alright, let's get going! An all-new monster-filled adventure!
Dragon Quest Monsters: The Withered World drops on December 3rd, and I am ridiculously excited for this. We get to follow Bianca and Nera, yes, the kids of the heroes from Dragon Quest V, as they scout monsters to find a cure for their fathers. It's releasing across all major platforms, including the new Switch 2. The monster synthesis system is back and better than ever. I just hope Square Enix markets this one properly, because the monster taming in this series can easily rival Pokemon.
Powerful allies! Now, take on the most fearsome.
そして何よりこのまがまがしき気配の
Strategy fans, brace yourselves for Brigandine Abyss. Slated for later this year, this is a grand strategy tactical RPG that combines deep war simulation with fantasy grid battles. You aren't just moving units on a map, you are managing a full-scale campaign, conquering territories, and making high-stakes political decisions. They've added a brand new mission mode to keep things fresh. It's heading to PC and all current-gen consoles, including the Switch 2. If you enjoy games where you can slowly take over a continent while managing a massive army of magical knights, you will feel right at home here. I am legally obligated to tell you about Edge of Memories because it lets you ride a giant fluffy feline mount called a Nekaru. Developed by the French studio Midgar, this Unreal Engine 5 action RPG looks incredible. You play as Eileen, exploring the corrupted continent of Avaris. The combat is fast and fluid, and Eileen can literally transform into a devastating black beast during boss fights. The demo launched back in June, and the blend of deep JRPG mechanics with gorgeous open-world exploration really sold me.
Your loadouts on the fly to adapt.
Huh? Yeah. What gave it away? The clothes or the...
Dropping very soon on September 2nd is Emery Hearts, an indie action JRPG that perfectly blends a retro voxel art style with modern, fast-paced gameplay. You play as Lug in a world torn between machines and humans. The real-time combat feels super responsive, and it mixes in some old-school platforming and puzzle-solving alongside the hacking and slashing. You can upgrade stats, learn new spells, and swap weapons on the fly to deal with different mechanoid enemies. It has so much heart and charm packed into its voxel world. Falcom fans, our time has come. Trails in the Sky second chapter is launching on September 17. Coming hot off the heels of the recent remake projects, this sequel continues the absolute masterpiece of a story that Falcom built. We get to see it fully realized on PS5 and the new Switch 2. The world building in the Trails series is unmatched, and experiencing the second chapter with updated graphics and refined turn-based combat is a dream come true. Just be prepared to read a lot. talk to every single NPC twice, and cry over the phenomenal soundtrack.
I take up my sword to abandon humanity. Feel the blade blade's wrath. Fast to the devotion in your beating hearts. Hear me now as I...
Nintendo is bringing out the big guns for the Switch 2 with Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, also launching on September 17. Set in the Dagdan Empire, the story revolves around the Heroic Games, a massive gladiator tournament where the winner gets a wish. You pick between 4 different protagonists, each with their own unique route and motivations. It shares a universe with 3 houses, and yes, Sotis is back. The combat introduces new HP costing blaze arts, adding a really cool risk-reward layer to the classic grid battles. I am already stressing over which protagonist to choose first, but my body is ready.
I must cull it with this blade. My full strength.
Final Fantasy returns to its roots with cinematic...
Finally, we have Final Fantasy Resonance coming out on October 22nd. Square Enix is taking the story and characters from the mobile game Brave Exvius and completely rebuilding it as a premium, single-player HD 2D turn-based RPG. You get the gorgeous Octopath Traveler visual style, a tweaked timeline battle system with stagger mechanics, and classic summons like the Onion Knight. They removed all the gacha elements and repaced the story for a proper console experience. It's the perfect way to experience Rain and Laswell's adventure without the mobile game grind.
You set out on a journey to protect the crystals. Encounter allies bound by a shared fate.